this topic is actually very close to my heart because as a student, I had a chance to also avail a few scholarships while I was studying law in India. And it is a proud privilege for me to sort of share my knowledge and my experience in this whole journey. So thank you again for inviting me. Students, today we would be, of course, talking about different scholarships to study in law, but I will give you a bit of a background as to what is law, why should one pursue law in the first instance, and what are the various opportunities one opens when a degree of law, comes in your hand. So I'll just briefly touch upon those topics before we move on to the essence of different scholarships which are available to study law in India. So I'm Afreen Kalasu, the Assistant Director for University Engagements and Partnership. Being a lawyer myself, with that specific background, it becomes important to understand the nuances of what law entails and what are those different career opportunities. So I will straight away jump to the next slide. So the question number one is why to study law? Usually when we are in our high school as students, and some of you must be studying in your 11th or 12th grade right now, and you must be in this contemplative stage to sort of think as to what to do next. What are the different avenues which are there for me? And, you must have encountered law as a career, but you must be thinking what should be the next steps to sort of research in the specific career opportunity. At high school, you do that. Then you have a pre-law stage where you're sort of getting yourself ready or preparing yourself. You acquaint yourself with different type of entrance examinations, which would be a gateway or a doorway for you to study law. Those sort of entrance examination or exam prep will also help you gauge whether or not this career really made for you, because you will be touching upon different subject matters, different sort of topics which might be in your interest or which might not even interest you. So these are the kind of stages where you're contemplating to really understand why you should study law. So once you're past that specific stage, you come to the stage of college prep or the admissions stage. That's where you start discovering different sort of law schools or opportunities to study law here in India or even abroad, if that's your sort of calling. That's where you also understand the sort of minimum criteria or eligibilities which are required to sort of get into a law school. It's not just about a law school, it's also about whether you can finance that specific law school. But quite honestly, if I have to give you a ground reality, law schools are not that cheap in terms of the kind of money which gets put into, and not just money, the kind of time you dedicate in this particular degree. It's a 5-year degree after your 12th grade, and it could be a 3-year law degree after your undergraduate, depending on the kind of course you take. So all those factors are something which you need to keep in mind. Once you cross that stage, you come to the stage of studies and academics. You must have witnessed a lot of movies and a lot of TV serials where they talk about how rigorous law schools are. It definitely is a rigorous sort of a process, but when it comes to the kind of incentive one receives at the end of the day, it's quite a fruitful one. So those 5 years of labor which you put in, that will definitely reap a good benefit. You will come out as a different personality. You will start becoming aware as an individual as compared to your other peers who must be an expert in different fields or areas. But a law school gives you a comprehensive sort of an outlook to what the world looks like. And of course, at the end, you have your post-law sort of stage where you decide about what career path you would want to take up once you study law, because there is a bit of a myth that there is one sort of a career only when it comes to law. But I would actually take a stance today and sort of burst those myths around professional and career decisions which you can make as a student while studying law. So coming to my next slide, what are the...
Asking, you're on mute.
Yes, sorry, I got muted. So what are the next steps when it comes to careers or carving that sort of path in law? Number one, it's important to introspect. It is important to connect with your peers. It could be your seniors in school who already are in that career path or have graduated as lawyers, have become young advocates. Try to reach out to them. Try to find out those answers which you probably can't find over Google or the internet. It's important to understand that what you will be getting into in the next couple of years when it comes to choosing that specific stream in law. Secondly, there are so many resources online as well, and I'm sure Next Genius is one of those resources which helps students to come to a conclusion as to what kind of degree would suit your purpose. You need to identify that niche area. You need to identify that purpose. If you're somebody who likes to somebody who has an analytical sort of an inclination towards any specific topic, or you're somebody who likes to participate in debates and elocution competitions, you like to question people, you like to challenge people with your thought, law is one sort of a area which you should definitely discover. And like I was talking about previously, that law school is a difficult journey. You do need a strong motivation to get through 5 years, as compared to some of your peers who will just have a 3-year undergrad degree. You would still be in college when they might be out there and getting jobs. So you need that kind of a push, you need that kind of a mental strength to ensure that this 5 years which you dedicate towards your life is going to make that sort of a career which will definitely be fruitful at the end of the day. So that academic commitment and a professional commitment is what is required of a lawyer. Coming to the next stage, what are the different career prospects? Now, like I said, the most obvious sort of career prospect would be that you join litigation. That is simple sort of an advocacy where there are certain disputes which sort of arise and you are representing different clients in the court, right? That is the most obvious sort of a career path when it comes to graduating in law. But I want to give you a few examples before, we delve into or deep dive into the different career opportunities. Some people who have made it big. For instance, Barack Obama. Barack Obama was a lawyer before he became the president of United States. He was not just a lawyer, but he was also a law professor at the same school where he had graduated. That's Harvard Law School. So he has that sort of a legacy when it comes to how leaders have that law background. Similarly, if I have to carve the pathway of Mahatma Gandhi, he too was a lawyer. He sort of had that background, but ultimately, even though he pursued his career in law for a few years, he dedicated his life to the nation. So those are the kind of people who sort of take up law, the people who want to make that sweeping change in the world. Most often, they are people who are lawmakers, or they have some sort of an inclination towards law and policy. Another few examples are Ram Jethmalani or Nani Palkiwala, some eminent names you must have come across through your readings, that in the recent history, their work is something, their contribution to the field of law has been immense. Those are big examples, but let's step back and sort of understand and analyze the people who you are surrounded with. There could be students, like I said, in your school who must be pursuing law as a career, who want to go ahead and become lawyers, or there could be college alumni. Some of the students must be aiming for a specific university or institution. Lawyers, when it comes to helping their law fraternity, are the first ones when it comes to reaching out. If you reach out to these people, it's most definitely they'll come back to you, they'll help you and guide you in terms of what are the different avenues or prospects in law. So these are a few examples I can give you. But when it comes to jobs and careers, the most obvious being litigation, the second being, say, the law firms, which of course have great perks when you join, especially once you graduate. Straight out of graduation, they are the ones who pick you up from different law schools through placements. Thirdly, it could be an in-house counsel. Who is an in-house counsel? In-house counsel is somebody who is attached to, say, a particular company. So for instance, companies like Coca-Cola, Google, Pepsi, Samsung, they all have in-house counsels where those specific lawyers are hired especially to ensure the smooth functioning of their companies. They draft different contracts. And secondly, they also represent their companies in different disputes and cases, and especially when it comes to cases for negotiation or, say, mergers and acquisitions. Those are the people, working behind this particular aspect. Quite recently, you see a lot of companies releasing their IPOs. You had Nika and you have Paytm coming in. The people who actually work to ensure all of these functionings happen in a smooth way are the in-house counsel, or they could also be delegated or sort of reached out to the law firms which work closely with these companies. Fourthly, it could be banking and finance. If you're a student of accountancy and is still confused whether they want to go into a CA or a company secretaryship, I think law makes a good combination while you're studying for your CA or CS. And banking and finance has become one of the leading sectors in terms of recruiting students who have some sort of an background in law. So that could be a good career opportunity. Then you have something called clerkship or judiciary. Clerkship is again an opportunity where you closely work with the judges in the courts. You sort of draft different judgments and help judges to come to a certain conclusion. Of course, the judges are doing the main bit, but the research bit is done by these clerks. The other bit is judiciary. If you're somebody who sort of resonates in coming to a conclusion that you could be sitting on the other side of the law, right? You are not the person who wants to sort of advocate or fight the cases, but you want to resolve cases. Judiciary is one path. Then you also have different sort of avenues in under ADR. ADR means alternative dispute resolutions. Today, with technology disruptions happening, the companies sort of don't think it is viable in case there is a dispute to go to a high court or a supreme court, or the local courts, because that takes a lot of time and effort and money to sort of come to a conclusion. But you can always resolve any disputes by hiring alternate dispute lawyers such as arbitrators or mediators who try to resolve certain issues without even going to court. So that could be one opportunity. And again, this is an upcoming field. Lastly, you have something called the JAG. JAG is Judge Advocate General. This is somebody who represents the military forces in India. If you're somebody who has an inclination to join the army or the navy or the defense in a general term, you could be somebody who could appear for these sort of entrance examinations and go ahead and be army personnel, but pursuing law as a career opportunity. So those are a few examples. Of course, this list is not exhaustive. You have more and additional sort of career opportunities, especially in the upcoming fields of law. Earlier, a few years back, we used to always think that career in law is limited to criminal law or civil law or corporate law. But today, there are niche areas which are coming up. So here are a few examples you can see on the screen. You have the air and space law, you have media and entertainment law. If you're somebody who's, say, interested in sports, and you are a Liverpool fan or you are a Manchester United fan, you want to work closely with the teams. You could be a person representing these teams, drafting various contracts for the players, whether it's football or cricket or even IPL. All of these leading sports facilities are sort of backed by lawyers. And if you're somebody who has keen interest in that, you could be giving better inputs at the end of the day. Again, if you're somebody who likes to work for the environment, especially if you're reading the news, you have the COP26, where all the countries have come together to pledge that they would make an additional effort to save the environment. Those are the kind of opportunities which can be created by lawyers which represent the countries and different international forums, and that's where environmental law also comes into picture. So depending on the kind of interest you have, there is some field of law which would be sort of giving you that opportunity, because at the end of the day, everything around you as a society is governed by law, and the law is not stagnant. It keeps on changing with different technologies coming in. You can see a lot of change specifically in the cyber space. With everything moving online, you need to ensure that there is some sort of a cyber security when it comes to introducing different technologies and softwares. So that's where even computational law comes in. So keeping these sort of pointers in mind, friends, you need to understand that law is a dynamic career. One needs to just be in line and in tuned with the fact that these are my interests, and this is how I can apply it to different sections or various career opportunities which come your way. So now that we have a quick download as to what are the different career opportunities, your next question would be, what are the type of law degrees? So there are sort of different type of law degrees or programs in law offered by the Indian law schools or universities. I've segregated into three broad categories. You have the undergraduate program, the postgraduate program, and the doctrinal program. The undergraduate program is an integrated 5-year degree program offered by law schools in India. They come under various names, that is BA LLB, BBA LLB, BCom LLB, and BSc LLB. So the reason it's a 5-year integrated program is that in the first 3 years, you'll be touching upon the basics of any of these subjects, whether it's BA, BBA, or BCom. And Along with those subjects, you'll be studying the law subjects, and the last 2 years would be fully dedicated to only law subjects. So here, when you graduate, you not only graduate with an LLB degree, which is related to law, but also with a degree in a specific specialization. So BA LLB honors is one of the most popular ones. The other ones are your BBA and BCom. So depending on the kind of stream you have chosen in your 11th and 12th grade, you could choose these 5-year integrated programs. One thing you have to keep in mind: the 5-year integrated program is opted right after your 12th grade evaluation. The second would be your postgraduate program, which is an LLB, the 3-year LLB basically, which can be availed only after you've graduated in a specific program. You could be doing, say, a BA in journalism, and then you can go ahead and pursue a career in law by opting the 3-year LLB program. The only difference between 5-year and the 3-year is that in the 3-year you are only specializing in the law courses. You won't be studying any other subjects as such. And you can only avail it once you have a basic graduation degree. The other post-graduation program is an LLM program, which is a master's program in law. Depending on the kind of university you opt, it could be a 1-year program or a 2-year program. Both are sort of recognized by the Bar Council now, but the Bar Council is also sort of changing its path when it comes to an LLM program. They're slowly moving to ensuring that the LLM program is for a 2-year duration. So I would suggest students to keep a watchful eye in the news and keep on reading upon what are the changes happening in this field, especially in higher education, once you want to take law as a career, because a lot of changes are happening over the years. And the Bar Council of India, which is a regulatory body, is the one which governs and regulates the law degrees, specifically when it comes to undergraduate and postgraduate programs. And lastly, you have the doctrinal programs. That's the BA, PhD in law. If you're somebody who's keen to pursue, law and go ahead in academia, the minimum sort of qualification to teach at a law school is a PhD. Of course, the government has now sort of extended that specific time in terms of when you can complete your PhD. But my suggestion would be that if you have an inclination there, you have to complete all these 3 stages to go ahead and teach at a law school. So this is a quick background on different programs in law. Before we move on to the different scholarships, one needs to understand the kind of cost. Like I told you earlier, the cost of law degree in India is something which you need to keep in mind while pursuing law here in India. And specifically, I'm giving you this sort of a breakdown of the tuition fee, the hostel, and any other additional fees when it comes to pursuing or taking up law as a degree. So you have the NLUs, that's the National Law Universities, which offer law programs specifically, different, and these are established under the government, and they are sort of spread over in different states. So the tuition fee in an NLU would range somewhere from 1.5 lakh to 2 lakh, depending on which university you apply to, and maybe in certain cases even courses. So that would be your tuition fee per annum. Hostel charges are, of course, additional, and additional fee where I talk about, in case you want to participate in extracurricular activities and, other miscellaneous expenses, your living costs, etc. So if you add up all of that, in total, approximately for 5 years in an NLU, you would be spending about 21 to 22 lakhs for the 5-year integrated course. And if I have to compare the same thing at a private law school, again, the tuition fee ranges from 2 to 6 lakhs. The hostel fee sort of again ranges from 1 to 2 lakhs. And again, additional fee for your cost of living, depending on which state and region you opt, would probably cost you a lakh or 2 per annum, making it a total of 30 to 50 lakhs, depending on, again, which private institution you choose. Again, if I have to compare in terms of the cost, the private institutions, of course, come at a higher end. But I must add that when it comes to scholarship opportunities, they too have more as compared to the NLUs. So it's a good sort of an area to look into, because there are colleges which offer almost 100% tuition fee waiver, specifically in private law schools. So you can take this specific idea, and then we can move on and understand what are the different scholarship opportunities you have as students. So what I've done is I've created 2 different avenues. There are scholarship opportunities for general students, not applicable to just one law school. And there are scholarship opportunities each and every law school sort of, states. Again, depending on where you apply and the terms and condition, it changes. A small caveat: these are scholarship opportunities which have been given till 2021 so far. I'm sure some of them will continue, but some of them might discontinue. So you might have to keep a watchful eye as to what are those different scholarship opportunities, say the government offers, or say the each individual university offers. But this is a trend which we have been seeing for the last at least 10 years. So depending, if nothing else changes, this is going to stay. And maybe there could be additional scholarship opportunities which also come your way. So do keep that in mind. So the first one which I'll be discussing is regarding the Aditya Birla Group Scholarship. And we all know that Aditya Birla is a big group in terms of providing a lot of opportunities, not just in terms of scholarship, but also, your placements and internships. It's a big company, and because of companies having a CSR sort of a responsibility, they do offer various scholarships to students. Again, these scholarships could be merit or means based, depending on, again, their eligibility and terms. Please, students, go through the terms and conditions in a more extensive way. I'm just giving you a sort of an overview of different scholarships which are provided. So the Aditya Birla Group Scholarship awards about 1.8 lakh per annum, or a fee at actuals, whichever is lower. So whichever is lower is what you'll get in terms of the award. Again, it's a per annum sort of a fee. It is up for renewal. So in case you have performed really well, they do sort of renew this specific scholarship. Another thing you need to keep in mind for the specific scholarship is that this scholarship is not limited to just law. So you will be competing with students from various streams of engineering and management students as well. The top colleges which accept or sort of participate in this group scholarship is National Law School Bangalore, Nalsar Hyderabad, the West Bengal National University for Juridical Sciences Kolkata, National University Jodhpur, and the Gujarat National University. So these are the top national law schools which partake in this group scholarship. About 100 students from all the law campuses are evaluated basis their application. I've marked that about 180 are, sort of selected from other streams. So you will be competing with those many students. What you need to keep in mind is a good academic and academic performance, and of course your participation in different curricular activities. The other bit is that you will be asked to write a specific essay depending on topics. Usually topics change every year, but these are very basic topics in terms of, what would you probably do with the scholarship, or what would be the kind of impact you will make in case Aditya Birla Group decides to give you the specific scholarship. So those are the kind of topics you need to keep in mind. So out of those 100 students, 8 are shortlisted from law. So there's a good sort of a chance that at least eight students will be getting that specific scholarship to go ahead and pursue their dream career in law. The tips to sort of keep in mind is the renewal of scholarship in case your academic performance is not up to the mark, or you're not keeping in track with your studies. The question of renewal comes into the picture. And like I said, it's a little competitive because it's not just limited to law. So the chances of you getting that specific scholarship sort of diminishes. But if you're already part, or in the rankings of the CLAT scores, then probably you have a good chance when it comes to availing this scholarship. I've also laid down the URL for the Aditya Birla Scholars. You can go ahead and again take a screenshot of this, or go ahead and just Google it, and you get all the information regarding the Aditya Birla Scholarship. I'll move on to the next one, which is the PNB Housing Scholarship. PNB is, of course, the Punjab National Bank. They provide a specific scholarship to ensure that students who are almost in their final years. Okay, so this is a scholarship which is not provided in your first or second year. It is only provided once you are, enrolled in a specific program. Whether you're in the third or the fourth year of a BA LLB course, you can apply for this. The candidates should be, again, pursuing, and this is specifically for the Army Institute of Law, but there are other institutions also which offer or fall under this category. So those are the eligibility criteria. Any student who scored at least a minimum of 65% in class 12 and in the graduation, and especially that is your first and second year, can go ahead and avail the scholarship. The other bit which needs to be kept in mind is that it is also for some somebody who comes from a lower family income or background, so it should be equal to or less than 8 lakhs per annum. Only then you would be eligible for this specific scholarship. Again, the screening process is based on merit and financial needs. Like I said, some of these scholarships which I'll be talking about would might be just on merit, some might be just financial, or some might be both. So you have to again keep in mind what are the various terms and conditions of a specific scholarship. Again, you might be shortlisted for a telephonic interview and a face-to-face interview if you require. You can go ahead and read more about the scholarship on the link which is being provided on the screen. I'll move on to the next one. This is a very important one and something you should definitely keep in mind if you're somebody who is really academically meritorious, and you probably fall again in a socially or a financially weak background, but you are somebody who is, willing to engage in such certain community issues. So this is a Quill Foundation. Quill Foundation is, a group of young lawyers, policymakers who have come together and created this endowment to ensure they can support students who want to pursue their careers in law. The basic eligibility for this is that you must be a 10 plus to graduate, then you must score minimum 60 marks in English or any other elective subject. Again, not opting for payment or self-financing seats, and financially weaker and people who are unable to pay for the education is somebody who can sort of go ahead and apply for this scholarship. Again, the award sort of keeps on changing, so you need to be a little up to date as to what kind of scholarship or award the Quill Foundation is giving. But it's a great institution based out of New Delhi where leading lawyers and advocates and policymakers have come together to help students who want to pursue their careers in law. And the last, not the least, is the scholarships again offered to students who are coming from minority communities. So this is a scholarship specifically given under the Ministry of Minority Affairs. They award about 60,000 merit cum means scholarship every year for different professional courses, and law is one of them. You could be even pursuing your master's degree, and you could also avail for the specific scholarship. Of course, if you are somebody who is representing the minority community, like the Muslim, Christian, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jain, or Parsis, are eligible for that, and your family income should not exceed more than 2.5 lakh per annum. The selected students would probably get a rupees 20,000 per year, or the actual fees, whichever is lower, and also monthly allowances to sustain, the living. Like I said, probably this is what was the data last year, but every year the award and the maintenance allowance keeps on changing. So do keep in track in terms of these scholarships awarded by the ministry or the government. And also there could be scholarships offered to state specific candidates. Say if you're from the state of Maharashtra or Tamil Nadu, the state also goes ahead and offers different scholarships to students. So those are whatever I've discussed so far are the scholarships which are offered in a general way, not specifically maybe to an institution in a more broader way. However, there are institution specific scholarships as well. And this is the one which I'm discussing today, are the ones which were recently introduced by NLS Bangalore. One is the Ajay Haldar THB scholarship. Ajay Haldar was one of the graduates from NLS Bangalore. We lost him due to the COVID pandemic. And the reason the specific endowment was raised to sort of commemorate his contribution to the legal fraternity. So his friends sort of got together and in a cumulative way collected a sum of rupees 15 lakhs. For that, the scholarship would also commence in the year 2022-23, and it will run for the next 5 years. So that this is a really great initiative taken by the students of NLS Bangalore. And I think this is something if you're in the current 11th or the 12th grade, you should definitely go ahead and apply for the scholarship if you plan to study in NLS Bangalore. Similarly, you have another scholarship by the name of Colonel Prakash Manik Bhatt Memorial Scholarship. Again, it's a scholarship which fully supports one student enrolled in the BA LLB program for the whole 5 academic year of duration. It covers not just the tuition fee, but it covers facility fee, hostel mess fee, as well as stipend to the beneficiary. So remember, I was talking about the cost it takes to sort of study law in India. It's not just limited to the tuition fee, but they are also giving other additional services and fee if you sort of win the scholarship. So, moving on to the next bit, when it comes to scholarships, we as an organization, that is LSAC Global, wishes to ensure that students who want to study in good premier law schools have that sort of accessibility when it comes to studying law. For the last 3 years, we've been giving various scholarship opportunities. One is to the LSAT India topper. So we conduct the LSAT India examination, which is a gateway for students to pursue law in private institutions. I will be also sharing the list of institutions which accept the LSAT India. So the person who tops the LSAT India, gets the specific scholarship. It covers the tuition fee and the halls of residence, and it is for that specific 1 year of law program. And any other amount which is sort of left can be rolled over to the next year for that specific college. These colleges are part of the LSAC Global Law Alliance consortium, and these are the colleges which also offer additional scholarship opportunities to students. So we are still yet to release an announcement regarding our 2021 scholarships, but please do watch the space for more information, because we will definitely be going ahead and introducing more scholarships this year. The secondly, we have the Shamnath Bashir Access to Justice Essay Scholarship. This scholarship is basis a specific essay competition where we release a specific topic for the essay. We get entries from high school students, and the best essay wins the specific scholarship. I must share this news with you that last year we had about 200 plus essay entries for the specific scholarship. It was quite competitive, and the judges which judged the essays come from various fields of law, ranging from judges, ranging from academicians, and ranging from different lawyers and advocates, senior lawyers and advocates who represent that specific area in law. So those are the two scholarship opportunities LSAC Global provides. Please do visit our website to keep a watchful eye on the specific scholarship opportunity. We'll soon be releasing more details regarding the same. If I have to quickly, go through the kind of LSAC Global Law Alliance members, the kind of scholarships they offer. I'm sharing the links. You can take a screenshot of this. But if I have to go through in terms of all these institutions, I must make a point that most of the institutions offer either 100%, 50%, or 20% of tuition fee waiver for LSAT students. If you're somebody who's come up and applied to these specific colleges and you have a good score, they will go ahead and give you scholarship waivers and tuition fee waivers up to 100%. So depending on the different scholarships you apply for instance, Jindal Global Law Schools offers various scholarships depending on your merit, depending on the kind of contribution you've made, even in terms of extracurricular activities. And recently also they had another scholarship released in terms of an endowment which has been created. So the idea is to ensure that these schools are offering these merit come means based scholarships depending on the kind of applications they get. The other colleges like IFIM Law School, UPS, they also offer scholarships. IFIM again offers merit based scholarship. UPS interestingly offers scholarships for girl child. So if you're a single girl in the family, you can apply for the various scholarship UPS offers. We have the Manav Rachna University again offering merit-based scholarships, Bennett University, Alliance University, BML and GD Goenka University. They are all part of the LSAC Global Law Alliance members, and they offer various scholarships depending on the kind of performance you had in the LSAT India. So you have to ensure that you perform well academically as well in your LSAT so that you can avail these scholarships. Even if you're somebody who has an interest in sports or other extracurricular activities, these schools do offer scholarship basis that. So just keeping a couple of few steps in mind, and we can go over the Q&A here. Number one, you need to keep your grades up. Whichever scholarship you're applying, most of the scholarships have a minimum criteria in terms of a percentage you need to maintain in your 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So if you're in those stages, ensure that you're doing well in school. Secondly, you need to explore as many as career opportunities as possible. I've already given you a basic list. Of course, like I said, it's not limited to that, but these are the areas you can explore when it comes to having or taking up career in law. Third is to prepare for entrance examination like LSAT India. Like I gave you an example, the LSAT India opens doors to various law schools in India, not just in terms of ensuring that you will study law, but you might study law almost free of cost. So depending on the kind of institution you pick up and your performance, you can go ahead and avail those scholarships. And lastly, you of course need to find the right law school. So I'll give you a quick sort of download there that what is the LSAT India all about. It's a test which helps you to improve certain essential skills at a law school. So the test is basis on the critical reading, analytical reasoning, and logical reasoning. The test does not entail or does not test your GK or mathematical skills. It tests your critical and analytical skills to ensure that you have these specific basic skills to, crack a law school. So we are a test which ensures that it becomes an integral part of your law school admissions. So if we would suggest that you go ahead and practice the LSAT India. We have a few mock test papers on our website. Have a feel of it, see how you perform. And I think if you're somebody who is interested in law and would want to take up law as a career, the LSAT India is the gateway for that. So you could go ahead and visit our website, which is www.discoverlaw.in. There's a lot of information on what the LSAT is all about, what are the different law associated colleges and different events. We do a lot of activities with law aspirants. They can take part in moot court competitions. They could be part of a student ambassador program where you can actually interact with our team and understand what are the different avenues in terms of pursuing your careers in law. There could be different activities where you can share your thoughts about what you think could be the next step in your career. Interactive peer-to-peer learning happens on our platform. A quick sort of look at the LSAC Global Law Alliance schools, which are part of the LSAC Global Law Alliance. You could have more information and details about these associated law colleges. These are good quality legal premier institutions in India, and the way or a pathway to get through these colleges is to appear for the LSAT India examination. I'm also sharing our different social media handles. You can again take a screenshot of this. Start following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Telegram for more information about various aspects, even scholarship information. We keep on updating that with our student cohort time and again. In case you have any queries regarding law, careers in law, or the LSAT India, you can write to us on our Discover Law India email ID. And we are also sharing our phone number in case you want to get in touch with our team.